All right, looks like we're live here. So this is just going to be a general update. Interestingly, I've had the strike that was on this channel was removed, and it took a while to get that to happen. But I've had something that I've never had happen before. It says, regarding your account, these things I believe we have received because I repudiated or argued against the strike that they issued me on the grounds that I did not incite hatred or violence in that video. I did, however, use profanity, which is why I age restricted the video. So apparently they have removed the strike. I am able to live stream on this channel now. And because you can't live stream for 3 months if you have a strike. So I'm in good standing. However, the video that got me this strike was Incel Dreams of Harem, Nostalgia, and More. It has been blocked from viewing on the following YouTube country sites: Austria, Bulgaria, Switzerland, Czechia. I don't know what Czechia is, the Czech Republic or Chechnya. I don't think the country's name is Czechia. I think it's called the Czech Republic, but Germany, Estonia, France, United Kingdom, French Guiana, Guadalupe. I mean, some of these things, I don't know what they are. Are they countries? Are they nations? Are they territories? Guadalupe. I mean, isn't that the capital of something? Guadalupe? Croatia, Hungary, Israel, Italy, Lithuania, Latvia, Martinique. I don't know what that is. Is that a principality like Liechtenstein? Martinique? New Caledonia. I mean, these are places I've never even heard of, and I thought I was pretty well versed in geography. New Caledonia, which I assume is in Spain, French Polynesia, Poland, Saint Pierre and Miquelon. Again, I don't know what that is. Is that an island? Reunion. What is Reunion? I've never heard of this place. Reunion? Is this an island? Is this an island? Reunion? Romania, Slovenia, Slovakia, French Southern Territories. French Southern Territories. I don't know what those are. Islands. Wallis and Futana. What the? Wallis and Futana. I've never even heard of this thing. Is it a little island somewhere? And Mayotte. Okay, your guess is as good as mine as to what Mayotte is. YouTube blocks content where necessary to comply with local laws. Okay, so that was, it says, your video, Incel Dreams of Harem, Nostalgia, and More, was flagged to us by the YouTube community. Upon review, we have placed restrictions on how the video will be shown. Please note that your video will continue to be available on YouTube. Video content restrictions. We believe in the principles of free speech, even when that speech is unpopular. Well, how gracious of you, YouTube. That's so magnanimous. Or potentially offensive to some viewers. Okay. However, YouTube doesn't allow hate speech or content that promotes or incites violence. In some cases, flagged videos that do not clearly breach the community guidelines, but whose content is potentially controversial or offensive may remain up, but with some features disabled. Your video will be shown after a warning message. In addition, certain features such as comments, sharing, thumbs up, and suggested videos have been disabled. Your video is also ineligible for monetization. Oh, boo-hoo. I really was counting on those nickels and dimes. Oh, maybe I'll go on Patreon and get sponsored $8 a month. How you can respond. Well, this is not a strike on your account. Okay, well, it's I can live with that. I can certainly live with that. It took them a good long while to oh, let me mute the feedback on that channel. Hey, we got a couple. I mean, there was a long litany of countries that this video is apparently not available to be viewed in, and I mean, I'd have to actually go back and listen to that stream that I did, the one that was called um, Incel Dreams of Harem, Nostalgia, and More. I mean, I thought that video was pretty non-controversial. All I talked about was, could you use the increasing rate of bisexuality of women to your own favor in an effort to enter into a bigamist relationship or a polygamous relationship? I don't know what was so offensive about that. And then nostalgia, where I was had the most female attention shown in me when I was in middle school or high school. And so I'm nostalgic for that time. I don't know what was so. I mean, I'll have to go back and listen to it. I guess it's an hour and a half long, but I don't see what was so controversial about that last video. Um, but they've blocked it in a ton of countries. I don't know. I mean, some of those I don't even know what they are. Countries, principalities, islands in the South Pacific. I mean, I don't think anybody's listening to me in the South Pacific. I mean, 99% of my audience comes from the United States, Canada, and Australia. So as long as those, oh, it was banned in the UK, wasn't? Let me go back and look. I think it was banned in the UK. Yeah, but I mean, it took them like a week to. Uh, yeah, the United Kingdom. Okay, well, that's a big loss. Canada is good, I guess. Austria. Austria, it's banned in, but not Australia. And I don't get it. It's not that I was. Usually, the only things that cause problems are if it's Holocaust denial, because I guess Holocaust denial is a crime in many of these European countries. I didn't even discuss it in that video, so I don't know what was so contentious in that last video as to have me censored in these countries. Was I speaking out about migrants or something? I mean, I don't know how many migrants are going to Wallace and Futana or New Caledonia or Guadalupe. Let me Google what Guadalupe is. It's an insular region of France. So I mean, the rules vary, not even nation by nation. It's a region of France located in the Leeward Islands, part of the Lesser Antilles in the Caribbean. Okay, big loss. I don't think anybody in Guadalupe is listening to my video, so no skin off my nose. Switzerland, well, Switzerland's like Germany, but without the levity. Switzerland is like Germany, but without the rich sense of humor. So no big loss. Saint Pierre and McQuellen. Again, I mean these like random things. It's like, okay, my video is inaccessible in Saint Pierre and McQuillan. Oh, I don't know. So France, I guess, has a problem, but I don't even think I talked about France in that video. So I really don't know what their problem is. But um, okay, so long as I can live stream on this video, and in about a week, I'll be able to upload. Hey, Mutant Bashir. So in about a week, I'll be able to upload again to my main channel. I can't live stream there. However, what I can do is put up a video saying, "Hey, tune in Friday night, 8 p.m. on this channel, and we're going to do a live stream." And then what I can do is make my live streams private or unlisted immediately afterward, and that way they can't be flagged. So I still have the ability to live stream, which is nice, just to when you get that itch or that urge to just get some things off your chest. But I mean, it's good they rescinded the strike because one strike means you can't live stream for 3 months, which is that's a big time out for being a bad little boy. Um, but the last video I did was, I mean, it wasn't even one of my better ones. I have some goodies. I have things on my hard drive, videos that I've made over the past few months that would definitely get me a strike. I'm pretty sure about that. So I don't know if I'll do a backup channel, too hot, too nasty, or for all the real raunchy. It's not raunchy. It's just the I have one that's called Jeffrey Dahmer was a human sucker mouth catfish, and that one I think would get me a strike. I have several others. I call Rosemary's Baby. Um, And I have quite a few that are contentious, but I have been looking into alternative sites, and I have a whole list of them here. Let me look it up. I have a list. Um, yeah, let me share. So some of these, you can upload podcasts to iTunes. Angry MGTOW has all of his former podcasts on there. I wouldn't charge anything, it's just gonna be for free. You download it for free. I have all the audio rips already from my videos, so I could do iTunes. There's a site archive.org. Flickr, but you got to get a pro account if you want to upload long videos. Even Twitch. I mean, hell, I'll pull an Angry Monkey, and I don't really play computer games. The last computer game I ever played was Age of Empires 2. I do have I downloaded it from Steam. It's like the enhanced version of Age of Empires 2, just for nostalgia's sake. So I guess I could go on Twitch. I'm not a big gamer, but playing Age of Empires 2, which was my shit back in the day, that's always a possibility. Um, Vimeo, Daily Motion. I guess you can upload podcasts to the Google Play Store. SoundCloud limits you. You would actually have to pay like $100 a year, which I'm still willing to do if it gets me on another platform. BitChute. And Patreon, I guess you do not actually upload videos to, and I do not want to take money. I have a moral principle on taking money for my content, so I'm not going to charge. So everything, there are multiple sites, and hell, that there even includes X videos, X Hamster, X2, Pornhub, uh, RedTube, any of those sites. And like I said, if I need to superimpose my dialogue over Pretty Woman to get it to stay up, I'll do it. So it'll be on multiple sites, and I could, I have probably a total of around 300 videos. What is this? Jordan? Oh, Jordan. Well, it's not Jordan Peterson. That's not his name. You're thinking the other guy. You're thinking the Canadian guy, Jordan Peterson, leaving Incel. What is his name though? Jordan. I'm still subscribed to him. Not on this live stream. What's his name though? It's not Jordan Peterson. You're getting him confused with the uh the Canadian academic. Jordan. Yeah, there's that guy Jordan. His video now has like 50,000 views. That he's leaving Incel. I didn't know he was 20 or 19. I thought he was actually much older. I thought he was, yeah, the bald guy. I thought he was more like my age, 30. I thought maybe he was even a bit older than I was. Maybe that's just being bald or having a shaved head. I did not know he was 19 or 20. That actually floored me. I think that's a very young age. So kudos to him for putting his face and his real name out there and going on those news sites. Because they always distort it. They always will edit it down. It's like that episode of The Simpsons where Homer gets accused of molesting the babysitter, and he was just trying to pull the candy that got stuck to her ass as she was getting out of the car, and they edit it and take snippets out of context. So he's like, all I wanted was her sweet, sweet can instead of candy. Um, but like I said, these people come back. They always come back. And he didn't even say he had a girl lined up. That was the important thing. If he said, "Look, all of this attention has girls have reached out to me and they want to date me," we could probably understand that. But just because you are trying to leave Incel doesn't mean Incel is leaving you. Okay, and you can talk all you want about goals, and he's young, so he hasn't accomplished much in life. Nobody does really at that age, at 19 or 20. Um, but all of these goals, I mean, really, what can you aspire to? It's all, at the end of the day, I'm 10 years older than this guy. I've accomplished the things he might want to accomplish, multiple degrees, publications, awards, etc. And at the end of the day, all of those things go in a box. They go into storage. Okay. Um, all of the hard work that I've done, really has not garnered any attention. Um, you attend a conference, you present a poster, and nobody cares. Somebody comes up, looks at it, and walks away. I mean, I've put work into papers and presented at conferences. Nobody cares. Okay, so for all the talk of, obtaining your goals in life, like I said in that comment, what is he going to do? He's going to learn how to, he's going to teach migrants how to program in JavaScript, or he's going to go read to inner city youths. I mean, we were, kind of the only reason organisms are on this planet is to reproduce. And if your basic needs for emotional intimacy, and I'm not saying physical intimacy, I'm saying emotional, physical, spiritual intimacy are not being fulfilled, I don't think you can move on, okay? In psychology, there's what's called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And right above basic things like food, shelter, medical care, right above that, is emotional companionship, sexual intimacy. Um, and it's right above that. And only above that further are those more, how to realize your full potential, um, how to leave your mark, those sort of, higher things to strive toward. So other people, Asians, they get things locked down. They're in a committed relationship. They're in a committed monogamous relationship. And you see this all the time. They get that stuff taken care of early on so that their minds are free to focus, and they focus very well on studying and on work. Here in America, it's all inverted. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is inverted. And he'll come back. He'll come back. Where is he from? He's from isn't he from Canada too? Isn't he for that Jordan guy? He's from Toronto, I believe, which that's like ground zero. That's the epicenter for all of this stuff. That's where all these, disaffected men are come out of. That was where that what was his name? Alexis or Alika Minison, or whatever his name was, who did the van attack, Sandman, Toronto guy. I mean, there's a reason why, a disproportionate number of these channels are coming out of Canada. Um, yeah, see, the problem with incels is the very name means involuntarily celibate. And right off the bat, it kind of has this connotation of they're only concerned about sex. They're not concerned about physical, emotional intimacy, companionship. They just want to screw. And that's why people offer up these suggestions. Well, just go see a prostitute, just go see a hooker. I mean, that turns my stomach. I mean, even with a girl who's not a pro, um, you have to be concerned with how many men has she slept with, how many STIs and STDs does she have. I mean, with prostitutes, you're literally, and I don't care if they get their checkups and they get their clean bill of health. If you've had, hundreds or thousands of penises inside of you, you do have something wrong with you. You do have some lingering STI that kind of maybe doesn't manifest itself until later. Can you imagine kissing somebody? I mean, some of these prostitutes, they're like, well, I don't kiss. That, I only suck on penises. I don't kiss. Oh, that's too intimate for me. I don't, so TFL and incel, TFL is more sympathetic in the sense that they want to have more than just sex. And these incels, when they talk in a very crude term about sex, very vulgar terms, and that's a put off. That's bad for their image. Um, but what was I going to say? Let me look here at the comments here. Yeah, Canadian. Oh yeah. I mean, you have to pay a shitload for clean, good ones. I mean, you look at the prices for escorts and it's ridiculous. I mean, it's $500 an hour, $1,000 an hour. Oh, and I don't know how many guys can just drop their drawers and have an instant erection. I can't do that. I mean, that's like going to the doctor. Okay. I mean, I don't like being felt up by the doctor when he's rubbing my balls, and my dick shrinks up like a turtle. When I'm going to the have my prostate checked and things like that. It's not pleasant, okay? When you're with your girlfriend and somebody you're comfortable with, you don't have restriction of blood flow to your penis. I mean, this is not to be crude, but when you're frightened or anxious, everything kind of the blood flow to your extremities, including your penis, those are cut off, and your dick shrivels up. When you're comfortable, when you're just lounging around with somebody that you're very comfortable with, your flaccid penis is just dangling lower and lower. It gets bigger. Um, I mean, that's your body's way of telling you if you're comfortable or not. So this idea of just dropping your pants, and it's like some old style Western brothel where the cowboy comes in. He doesn't even take off his boots and spurs. He just, 20 minutes in the room with a hooker, and he's just doing it up against the wall. I mean, I can't do that. I mean, even when they do these studies where like women go up to men and proposition them for sex, it's a sociological experiment, and all the men are supposed to say, "Yeah, let's go." And I mean, no, I mean, you're a stranger. No, I'm not going to do that. I mean, that's a crazy request. So, you can imagine if you hire an escort, a lot of men, they're going to have performance anxiety. I mean, I think it's natural. It's a stranger. How could you not? And so you just wasted $500. You just wasted $1,000. I mean, I probably need at least one full night to get comfortable, and that's going to run you like $10,000. And no, that's not worth it. And plus, like I said, you're taking your health in your hands with regular women. Now imagine with a woman who makes it professional her profession to have sex with many, many, many men. No, I'm not doing that. Um, but it's interesting. Like I said, I've never had such a. I think this is what they did to one of American Renaissance's videos, like Jared Taylor's videos, where they restricted it and it doesn't show up in any searches. You can't give it a thumbs up. You can't comment on it. I don't know what was so controversial. I'll have to go back and actually listen to it. I thought it was pretty timid, actually. I thought it was sort of a throwaway. It wasn't one of my better works, that's for sure. But anyway, I have a list of alternative platforms. Of course, YouTube's the big one. So, there are different ways to handle it. You can do an archive channel where just all the old videos will get posted and you'll only keep one video up. All the others will be set to private on your current channel. So you do one video, you keep it up for maybe a week, and you take it, you put it to private, you move it to the archive channel, and that way, you don't get 2 or 3 strikes on a bunch of videos simultaneously, which can torpedo your channel. But I mean, I think things are changing. You see a lot of these MGTOW incels, they're gone. That guy Jordan left. He was only around for 2 months. That was the shortest lived channel I've seen. Angry MGTOW flipped out, left. Steve Hoka flipped out and left. Oh, an interesting note. Steve Hoka is still around in case you're wondering about his health or what happened to him. If you remember, I put up a video he had done. It was called the middle way or the middle path or the something like that. And it was him wearing his cowboy hat. And in that video that he had put up a few months ago, he gave me express permission to re-upload. He said, I only give, dashboard permission to re-upload this video. And so I did. I had it on private and then I uploaded it. And he emailed me privately saying, take it down or I'm going to file a copyright strike against you. He didn't provide any information as to why he left, but he's apparently on YouTube lurking, um, because it was within like, I don't know, 8 hours, 12 hours of me posting that video of him, that he was emailing me telling me to take it down, which is weird because in that video, I distinctly recall that he told me I could do it. He told me I give permission for him and him alone to re-upload it. And then he comes at me saying, I'm going to file a copyright strike against you. But whatever. So I have no idea what's going on with him, but he is around. He hasn't disappeared. He is apparently still on YouTube watching. But I mean, he has lots of other videos up, so I don't know what he's going to do about that. But let's see. Somebody told me that YouTube employs like automatic speech recognition. So if you use certain racial epithets, your videos get flagged automatically. I don't know if that's true because what I can't understand is why my videos get taken down for racial epithets, but that Michael Richards meltdown at the Laugh Factory from 10 years ago was still up there. I mean, it has like, I don't know, 100 million views. You know, Michael Richards, um, they did a parody of that on Family Guy, where Peter and well, what's the Peter and what's the black guy's name? Not Quagmire. Peter and whatever the black guy's name was, and they're sitting like in the front row at the Laugh Factory, and Peter goes, "Oh, this is going to be good. This guy used to play Kramer on Seinfeld." um, so that thing's been up for 10 years where, Michael Richards has his racist tirade. I don't know why that's allowed to stay up for 10 years, but my little insignificant channel gets flagged for hate speech. I mean, wasn't Michael Richards' tirade the literal definition of hate speech? But these things seem to be. Oh, yeah, yeah, I agree. I see what you mean. Somebody says Michael Richards is totally different. They leave it up as an example of public shaming that can happen to you. Yeah, that's true. That's true. About how, yeah, if you do this, your career's over. And it was funny because somebody was saying in that video, you hear like the hecklers, and they're saying the black hecklers are going, "You're a wash up. You just had Seinfeld. You're a failure." Well, no, it's proof that he was Michael Richards was so into so linked to his character of Kramer that people can't see him as anything else but Kramer. He did that role so convincingly that whenever, he was on, I think he had a show, the Michael Richards show. When people would watch it, they would only think of Kramer. And all of those people, the cast of Seinfeld, they all had spin-offs. The woman who played Elaine Bennis had what is it, The Adventures of Old Eileen or something like that. The guy who played George Alexander, what was his name? Alexander or something. George, the guy who played George, he supplied the voice to Catbert on the short-lived animated version of Dilbert. Um, None of them really had good careers. Even Jerry Seinfeld disappeared. It was because people see them from that sitcom Seinfeld. They did their roles so perfectly that it's the same thing with like the X Files. David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson. You can't see them and think anything other than Agents Mulder and Scully. I mean, they did those roles so well. So, but I think you're spot on. They keep that up as an example of this is how your career ends if you do have if you express such views. But so I guess yeah, I mean, people are saying it detracts from my otherwise intelligent, articulate delivery, which maybe they're right, but I sort of go from being very articulate all the way over to very hot-headed. But yeah, I can see that peppering it with fiery language is going to act against my best interest if I'm trying to communicate something. But on the other hand, I don't want to turn into another Jared Taylor. Jared Taylor, like I said, I think he's doing more bad than good. He just comes across as like just the ultimate old cantankerous white man. He's too polished. He's too debonair. He's too much of a stick in the mud. You know what I mean? He lacks emotion. He lacks passion. He's too much of a intellectual, and people can't relate to that. He can write all his books, etc., but he's just totally lacking emotion or any type of anger or righteous anger. So I don't want to turn into another. I don't want to turn into him. I don't want to turn into Jordan Peterson. Just so uh, just such a limp noodle intellectual. Agent Scully has hit the wall. Yeah, I watched that reboot of the X Files. It was very disappointing. Everything was bad about it. The editing, the soundtrack, the plot, the characters were not believable. It was horrible. The reboot was horrible. It was a disgrace. Um, Mutant Bashir says I'm still not down yet. Dashboard maybe I should do that video that girls rather be with gays. It's true. I mean, that's what Satanic TFL says too. These women, they love gay men. They surround themselves with them. And it's even amongst trans ams, trans men. Men who want to be women, they love drag queens. They think it's, they love doing makeup on guys, etc. They love watching guys do makeup tutorials, even if it's a 12-year-old boy. So no, the masculinity is condemned, but if it's by men, masculinity for women, that's good. If a woman is loud and confident, she's not being a bitch, she's being assertive. Um, so masculinity, when practiced by women, is totally allowed. Um, yeah, I'm gonna do a backup when I get the chance. I've got a lot of material, but I have everything backed up. So, then I'll just put all the links on my main channel. I hopefully people are not so lazy or discouraged that if I put a link on my main channel, they'll at least follow it and watch the new video if I don't want to risk uploading to YouTube. But some of them, I guess, are a bit more flexible on the free speech issue. Um, Apparently, BitChute, maybe Daily Motion, Vimeo, um, and the iTunes podcast, they all have their clauses about what constitutes hate speech. And this is what I'm getting at. You see how hate was openly promoted by the United States government, by Western governments. Hate was absolutely promoted against certain groups of people. We remember World War I, World War II. We remember the hatred, that deep burning hatred that was promoted against ethnic Germans and ethnic Japanese. They talk, obviously the internment of Japanese, but I'm speaking more about those wartime propaganda posters. I'm talking about those film reels that they show to soldiers, and we have all of these propaganda posters. You can search for them, and they show things like "kill the Hun," "beat back the Hun." There's another one where it shows like King Kong with a pith helmet, or not a pith helmet, the spiked pickelhaube, the spiked helmet, and it's saying, "Destroy this brute." There's another one where it's like I don't know, an octopus. This has been used and used over and over again. It's an octopus with its tentacles all over. Sometimes it's used to portray the Soviets. Other times it was used to portray, I think, the Japanese and their expansionist ideals. Other times it was used to portray the Germans. But all of those wartime propaganda posters, and a lot of them were actually created by Theodore Herzl, or no, no, what was his name? The real name of Dr. Seuss, Theodore Theodore Geisel. Theodore Geisel. Theodore Hertz was the founder of Zionism, right? Herzl. Yeah, Theodore Herzl was the founder of modern political Zionism. Theodore Geisel. Theodore Geisel was the real name of Dr. Seuss. And there's a book called Dr. Seuss Goes to War. And it's a compilation of all of the propaganda posters he did during World War II. And like I said, the intent of all of those propaganda posters, the intent of all of those propaganda broadcasts were to defame ethnic Germans, ethnic Japanese, and to portray them as subhuman, to portray them as not truly human, to portray them as beasts, to portray them as monsters. If that's not incitement of hatred, if that's not incitement to violence, I don't know what is. Wasn't the rallying cry for the interventionists during World War One, "Remember the Lusitania"? Okay, keep in mind the Lusitania was carrying ammunition on a passenger vessel, and the German consulate took out a full-page ad in the New York Times telling people to not travel on the Lusitania, um, that it was unsafe because these vessels were having dual roles. They were also transporting ammunition. That's why when the Lusitania was sunk in 1916, it sank very quickly. It was because their what is the term called for the where all the ammunition in the ship is held? What is it called? Shit. Um, like the magazine or whatever, where all the explosives were held. That's why the Lusitania sank within minutes, as opposed to the Titanic that went down over like 2.5, 3 hours. Um, So it's the point is the governments, the Western governments, they promote hatred. They incite violence when it's in their favor to do so. Okay? You can look at all of these wartime propaganda posters that portray, the Germans as the Hun, the monster, the beast. All of these ads that, all these posters that portray the Japanese as subhuman, as rats, as rodents. Um, that's just glossed over. So the point is, hatred and violence. Of you can't encourage violence. You can't do that. Yeah, that's not right to do. And yet we had books written by very high political people under FDR. Henry Morgenthau Jr., I think was Secretary of the Treasury, and he wrote he was the mastermind behind the Morgenthau Plan. And like I said, there were books, Germany Must Perish, Germany is Our Problem, What to Do with Germany. And all of these books advocated for the sterilization of ethnic Germans, the mass starvation of ethnic Germans, the reduction of Germany to a pastoral agrarian society. Um, like I said, so hatred and violence was openly promoted by the United States government. It was United States government policy. What is the term? De rigueur. It was the standard policy to incite hatred, to hate. And now it's no longer. Now they clamp down on it. Now hatred and violence is banned. You can't be inciting violence. Yeah, it was only appropriate to promote violence, to firebomb German cities and to firebomb German civilians and to firebomb Tokyo. Like 120,000 Japanese civilians died during the firebombing of Tokyo. 120,000. More people perished in the firebombing of Tokyo than died in the atomic bombing of Hiroshima or Nagasaki. So hatred was totally okay then. Inciting violence was totally okay. But now we're going to take those away. Now we're going to say that's illegal. You have to accept the status quo as is without promoting hatred or violence. That's interesting. So they promoted hatred and violence to destroy their enemies. And now they forbid the promotion of hatred and violence as a means to solidify their control. Pretty interesting, huh? Let's check the comments here. Somebody says you should upload one video at a time and then archive all the other stuff on sound format. Yeah, I agree. You keep one up because Ramsey Paul had the same issue. One of his old videos from years ago got flagged, and he had to set all his videos to private until he migrates them over to an alternative platform. You keep one video up at a time. All the others go to an archive channel. That way you can only get one video at a time. And moreover, if you mind your P's and Q's, you avoid the profanity, you avoid the racial epithets, and you talk more like Jared Taylor. Um, it's not fun, I know, but I guess the truly far out stuff can always go on, on an alternative platform or something where I do let loose. And isn't it interesting? Isn't it interesting? What is the most popular music video at the time? It's called, what is it? This Is America by what is this rapper's name? Little Gambino, and it's got like 100 million views in a couple days. And in the video, he takes out a machine gun and kills a bunch of choir singers. Now, to me, that's an incitement to violence. I mean, you're showing a very realistic mass execution, a very realistic mass shooting, and yet that video is not just kept up, but it's promoted. It's trending. It's got 100 million views. So this is America. That's somehow performance art. That's performance art. That's allowed to stay up when the black rapper takes out a submachine gun and kills everybody in the choir. Okay, that's okay. Um, but mere words. I never use any visuals. I never use any artwork or any type of visuals to that depict violent scenes. I never do that. And yet this video with a mass shooting is allowed to stay up. Um, that video by Marilyn Manson, I think it was called Satan, that depicts him decapitating what looks to be the president, Donald Trump, and then standing over his body, his bloodied body. That's allowed to stay up. Um, Kathy Griffin, or what's her name? Kathy Griffith? Whatever, that washed up old actress. She's holding the severed, what looks to be the severed head of President Trump. That's allowed to stay up. Um, there was another one. What was the other music video about somebody was killing Trump? Oh, wasn't it Snoop Dogg? Didn't Snoop Dogg do a video where he apparently he looked like he uh, killed the president? Isn't that weird? That's not an incitement to violence, is it? No, it's not inciting people to commit acts of political terrorism when you have these celebrities who are pantomiming or very realistically portraying the president as being tortured, executed, beheaded. That's allowed to stay up. That's freedom of expression. But me talking about the color of crime, me talking about rape statistics, that somehow crosses the line. Interesting. Interesting how you can hold up mannequins and effigies of the United States president being beheaded, being murdered, and nobody stops that. Nobody, not the video isn't just not even taken down; it's trending. The Secret Service doesn't go and speak to these people, to Snoop Dogg. Hey there, we need to have a discussion about that video you put up. No, 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 never happens. But my video talking about how the police act as an arm of the government to collect revenue, to basically appropriate resources from middle class people, because we know poor people don't have a pot to piss in and they're unable to pay any fines. Middle class Americans will comply. Middle class Americans will pay whatever fines and fees are put on them, any points on their license, etc. And the smallest infraction will get you pulled over, while the police look the other way at real crimes that are taking place. So it's okay when Black Lives Matter, they criticize the police for police brutality. But when I share my story, that gets censored. Somehow that video that I did that was called "The Only Good Cop is Scruff McGruff the Crime Dog," I don't know why that was flagged. I mean, I can go out of my way and not use racial epithets, I guess. I mean, I can do that. Take some of the zing out of my videos, but I can do that. I'm not on any other social media, just YouTube, but I did create a few accounts. They're just empty right now, like on SoundCloud. A few of the others, BitChute, I think I registered on. I just have an empty profile as a placeholder, and when I have the opportunity, I'll upload. Uh, oh, somebody says I uploaded some of your stuff on Mines, but only 6 videos so far. That's when you got your first strike. Okay, cool. I got to check that out. I thought, oh yeah, Mines is still up. What was the one that went down? Vimeo, or no, not Vimeo. What was the one that got shut down? It went out of business. Mines is still up. What's the one that finally failed and folded? Um, let's see here. Yeah, but I've got to spread my seeds far and wide. Being on one platform is it's a risk. That's a vulnerability. Unfortunately, YouTube, people come, 90% of the views are going to come from YouTube. So if you're on another platform, I don't really think people are going to go over on to Twitch and watch me play Age of Empires 2 while I rant. Um, yeah, interesting how videos like that Gambino thing, I mean, it shows a very realistic mass execution, and yet that's not censored. That's not censored. That's weird. Um, huh, yeah, if a white guy made a video like that, right? Um, yeah. Let's take a look here. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, Eminem. Oh yeah, if Eminem shot Obama, yeah. But he was, yeah, Eminem did his little anti-Trump rant. That was cool. Everybody thought it was wonderful. Um, let's see here. Yeah, well, this is just my backup channel, so not many people are going to be here regardless. I only have like 100 subs compared to 1,000 on my main channel. And usually when I do a live stream, I try to give like 12 hours notice. And that's what I'll do when I finally can upload regular videos because I still can't stream on my main. I can just put up a dummy video that says, go to this channel Friday night, 8 p.m. for the live stream. And, we'll keep things well, I'll watch my P's and Q's. I can still get the message out there. It's not as entertaining, I don't think. But the controversial videos, they'll go to a backup channel. They'll go to I don't know. I can do a YouTube channel too hot for TV, or too X-rated or something like that. Um, but yeah, that was just a quick update. As far as anything else, I I've been watching some of these new content producers because a lot of the old ones are gone. Steve Hoka, uh, a lot of these MGTOW channels, they petered out, they left, or they got banned. I think people are coming to the realization. Steve Hoka was right. I do believe MGTOW did go away in 2017. I don't see much new content coming out. It's the same old rehashed stuff. Okay, same buzzwords: monkey branching, female hypergamy, and looks and LMS. And like I said, I don't know how many mismatched couples, how many dwarves, little people, bald people we need to see with very attractive women before um, we finally dispense once and for all with this LMS theory. I think Hugh LaTraviata, he just posted a video saying this is his last video. I haven't watched it yet. I think he did that before. He might still come back, but I think things are. And he shares these videos, or he shares his observations, and yeah, I don't know where these people are seeing these. I watched some recent YouTuber. What's his name? I don't know. Something LA MGTOW. I don't know, but he's from like Iowa or Idaho, and he's just talking about, oh, the woman always leaves for the bigger man. It's like, no, no, they don't. Okay, you act as though and it's true for whites and blacks. Okay, I never see women with these 7 foot tall Green Mile overall wearing blacks. Okay, the ones like the 300-pound over, intimidating blacks. No, they're with Urkels who are wearing Argyle socks, uh, turquoise chinos. They're super skinny. They look like a praying mantis. They've got the Malcolm X Drew Carey Coke bottle glasses on. They've got the haircut that makes them look like an eraser on a pencil. They're not with these 7 foot tall slam dunking blacks. They're with the Urkels, okay, who are wearing Argyle socks and boat shoes, okay? These people are delusional, okay, and it cuts across the racial lines. Let me see. Let me look at the comments here. What do you think about atheism is unstoppable? Is that the name? That's the name of a channel, right? I have not watched any of his videos, but I still have to do that video on. Let me look at his channel real quick. What is this? Uh, I've still got to do my video on. It's sort of going to be like that Bertrand Russell essay where he did "Why I'm No Longer a Christian," and it's going to be "Why I'm No Longer an Atheist." Um, that's got to be a long one though, but that'll be a good one because I think a lot of people are kind of rediscovering some type of spirituality and belief and faith, because it's interesting when you actually read scripture how much of it accurately describes the modern day. And there was a line in there that said that if you deviate from the right hand path, if you get onto the wayward path, eventually foreigners will rule over you. And isn't that what we see happening? If you get onto the wayward path, foreigners will rule over you. And is that not what we're seeing? We have people, illegals, um, immigrants, who are basically ruling over us. Um, but let me see. This chat wasn't going to be a long one. Just wanted to update people that I am able to live stream now. I'll try to announce these ahead of time on my main channel and on this channel, so we get more viewers in here. Um, Sometimes I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, talking about the same stuff. These people are like bulldogs. They never let go of their fantasies about who's getting women. But I think the major thing is women are not interested. Women are not interested in dating. They're not interested in men, and that's basically what we're finding ourselves in. Why we're finding ourselves in the situation. There just aren't enough interested women, and I don't get how these people like who was the compatriot of Jordan? I think his name was P or Pi, and I don't know why these people make the assumption that women are as eager and interested to get a man as men are to get a woman. I mean, I think that's your first false assumption right there. I I think that's a major assumption that's wrong from the get-go. Um, but anyway, I'm going to cut it short here. I've been going for almost an hour. Just wanted to update people. I can live stream here, which is nice. Um, and I'll be posting announcements on this channel, on the main channel, ahead of time when I do have a live stream plan. So hopefully we'll get I'd like to get back up to, I think at my peak I had like 70 viewers at one time, which was nice, having so many viewers. So I'll be doing that, but I'm going to punch out for now. So thanks for tuning in, and I'm out.